दुर्लभ मानव जन्म लोभिया संसारे कृष्ण न भजिनो दुख कहिबो कहारे कृष्ण न संसार संसार करे মিছে গেল কাল লাভ না হইল কিছু ঘটিল জঞ্জাল লাভ না কিসের সংসারে ছায়াবাজি প্রায় কিসের সংসারে ছায়াবাজি প্রায় ইহাতে মামাতা করি বৃথা দিন যায় ইহাতে মামা এ দেহ পাতানা হলে কি রবে আমার কেহ সুখ নাহি দেবে পুত্র পরিবার গর্ভদের মাতা আমি করি পরিশ্রম কার লাগিয়ে তো করি না ঘুচিল ব্রাম কার লাগিয়ে দিন যায় মিছা কাজে নিশা নিদ্রা বসে নাহি ভাবি মারানা নিকটে আছে বসে নাহি ভাবি ভালো মন্দ খায় রে পরিচিন্তাহীন ভালো মন্দ খায় নাহি ভাবিয়ে দেহ ছাড়িব কোন দিন নাইবা देहो गेहो कालात्रादे चिंता विरा जागीছে হৃদয়ে মোর বুদ্ধি করে হাট জাগীছে রে হায় হায় নাহি ভাবে अनित्य सब जीवन विगते कोठा रोहिबे वैभव स्मशाने शरीर मम पोड़िया रोहिबे विहंग पतंग ताय बिहार करिबे कुकुर श्रीगाल सब आनंदित होए महोत्सव करिबे अमर देह लोए महोत्सव जे देह रे गते तारनुगाता संसार वैभवार बंधु जन जाता अतएव माया मोह छाड़ी बुद्धिमान नित्य तत्व कृष्ण भक्ति करुणा संधान दुर्लभ मानव जन्म लाभया संसारे कृष्ण ना भजिनो दुख कहिबो कहारे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Mai Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Prajakacharya Shtotar Shadas Divine Grace Abhaishnaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Prajakacharya Shtotar Shadas Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Nitai Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 2nd Canto, Chapter 1, Text 31. Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Damstra Yamaham Snehakala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Cha Maya Duranta Sargo Yad Apanga Mokshaha Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Damstraya Mahasneha Kala Dvijani Damstraya Mahasneha Kala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Haso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Duranta Sargo Yadapanga Mokshaha Duranta Sargo Yadapanga Mokshaha Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Damstraya Masneha Kala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Duranta Sargo Yadapanga Mokshaha Chandamsi Anantasya Shiro Grinanti Damstraya Masneha Kala Dvijani Haso Janonmada Kari Chamaya Duranta Sargo Yadapanga Mokshaha. Please chant. Duranta Sargo Yadapanga. Matajis, please repeat after me. Chandamsi, the Vedic hymns, Anantasya, of the Supreme, Shiraha, the cerebral passage, Grinanti, they say, Damstraha, the jaws of teeth, Yamaha, Yamraj, the director of sinners, Sneha Kalaha, the art of affection, Dvijani, the set of teeth, Hasaha, smile, Jana Unmadakari, the most alluring, Cha, also, Maya, illusory energy, Duranta, insurpassable. Sargaha, the material creation. Yadapanga, whose glance. Mokshaha, casting over. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and His jaws of teeth are Yama, God of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is His set of teeth, and the most alluring, illusory material energy is His smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of His glance over us. Purport. According to Vedic assertion, this material creation is the result of the Lord's casting a glance over the material energy, which is described herein as the most alluring, illusory energy. The conditioned souls who are allured by such materialism should know that the material temporary creation is simply an imitation of the reality, and that those who are captivated by such alluring glances of the Lord are put under the direction of the controller of sinners called Yamraj. The Lord smiles affectionately, displaying His teeth. The intelligent person who can grasp these truths about the Lord becomes a soul fully surrendered unto Him. Please repeat the translation after me. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and His jaws of teeth are Yama, God of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is His set of teeth, and the most alluring, illusory material energy is His smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of His glance over us. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine E Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Sometimes people think that when they see a potter who is preparing a pot and they see that how it spins and then the shape comes out on its own, they think that unintelligent men say that the earth on the wheel is the cause of the pot. Just like other unintelligent men say that the nipples on the goat's neck are the source of milk. Just as both of these premises are wrong, in the same way, it is the Supreme Lord, Narayana, who is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. In the Brahma Samhita also, we have this sloka, Eko Pirasau Rachaitum Jagadanda Koti Yachak Tirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Danta Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters the existence of every universe, in every atom, Andantarastha Paramanu. Just like we hear Paramanu bomb, nuclear bomb. So in the nucleus of every atom, the Supreme Lord, He enters. That is how the Lord permeates everything. Everything, animate or inanimate, is the energy of the Supreme Lord. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. And in this way, He manifests His energy throughout the entire creation. Srila Prabhupada he explains this, that how this universe, it is set into motion by the glance of the Supreme Lord. Just by seeing, He impregnates dull matter and sets it into motion. When the Lord sees, He glances over material nature, what happens is, the three modes of nature, they are activated. And then creation happens, secondary creation happens. That is all He has to do. Parasi Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. By His energies, in this way He acts. Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki. Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagadvi Parivartate. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. So this material nature, Maya Devi is the superintendent of this material nature, of this material world. And it is Krishna's Maya. Mama Maya Duratyaya, he says. Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. He says, this is my material nature, my energy, my Maya, my Shakti. And He sets this into motion. Maya Devi is making this entire world go round. Maya Devi she has Trishul. The Trishul stands for the three spokes on the Trishul. They stand for Adi Daivi Kleshas, Adhyatmik Kleshas, and Adi Bhautika Kleshas. And it is like, the material, the living entities, just like it is compared, just like a jailer in a jail. He gives the prisoners a hard time because prisoners are not supposed to enjoy in the jail. In the same way, in this material world, which is a jail, Maya Devi makes sure that we suffer. And she puts her trident, Adi Bhautik Klesha, Adhyatmik Klesha, Adi Daivi Klesha. Something or the other is always harassing us. Sometimes all three. Something like COVID will come and it is all three. Adhyatmik, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik. All three kleshas into one. In this way, the material energy constantly reminds us that we are not a part of this material world. There is no permanent settlement here. And unless and until we take shelter of the scriptures like the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we will remain in Maya. Unless and until we take shelter of devotees' association, we shall remain in Maya. It is mentioned, Prabhupada explains, because Yamraj is mentioned in this verse. Yamraj, he is the superintendent of death. Everybody knows Yamraj. Many of us must have met him also. So Yamraj, his job is to see, he is the placement officer in this universe. He makes sure everybody is placed according to their karma and desire. He makes sure. So we all know about Ajamil Upakhyan, the story of Ajamil, which comes in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Ajamil was a very pious Brahmana, following all the scriptures. And because he fell down due to his association, he saw a Shudra and Shudrani embracing. And looking at that dirty scene, lusty desires enveloped him so much that he went back home, was not able to give up these thoughts and these strong desires in which he coveted that prostitute for himself. He first employs her as a maid servant in his own house, removes his parents, throws his young beautiful Brahmani wife out, and becomes a slave to this prostitute, for the satisfaction of whom Ajamil performs all kinds of sinful activities. He gives up his Brahminical qualities. Brahminical qualities of purity, truthfulness, cleanliness, all of this is given up. And Ajamil becomes a slave to the desires of this prostitute, has so many children with her. At the ripe old age of 88, he still has a young son with this prostitute. Ajamil was completely lost in his life. He gave up all dharma and performing only sinful activities, including eating the food which was cooked by this prostitute. A lot of karma that we accumulate in our life happens through the food we eat. Directly it enters. And therefore, as practicing devotees, in fact, for any person who wants to be vigilant about karma, they should be vigilant about what they eat. What happens is, in the food that we eat, one part of the food nourishes our body. One part of the food, it gets thrown out of the body as stool. And one part of the food, which is subtle, it nourishes the subtle body. So, if the food is prepared by those who are practicing a pure lifestyle, then that kind of impact one has in their mind. Whereas, when we accept food which is prepared by those who are unclean and impure in their thoughts, immediately it contaminates. Those who practice this, you will find that after a while, one is able to make out, and they will refrain from foods that are not healthy or progressive for their spiritual growth. Once Srila Prabhupada, he had prasadam, and he said, the one who has cooked is following the 4 regulative principles perfectly. He said like this. This he said for His Grace Kurma Prabhu, who was one of the chief pioneers of the Australian Yatra. He said he's following the 4 regulative principles perfectly. Prabhupada was able to sense that those who follow purity, those who aspire for purity, then they try to avoid that which is harmful for them. Because why am I mentioning this is because it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam itself, and Srila Prabhupada makes a point about this, that Ajamil was eating the food prepared by this prostitute. Now one may say that she was already his wife, so obviously he is going to eat what his wife cooks. But interestingly, that did not absolve him from the karmic reaction that he had to take because of her sinful activities and impure consciousness that was being projected on him. One wrong choice of Ajamil created so much of mess in his life that at the time of his death, when the time of his death approached, the Yamdutas who come on the order of Yamraj to take those souls who have committed a lot of sinful activities to Yamraj, who will decide where they will be placed in order to purify them. These Yamadutas came to take Ajamil, and they have a rope called Yamapash, and they were going to pull out his soul. Right when they were going to do that, the Vishnu Dutas appear there on the scene, and they say, stop, you cannot take this man away. And Yamdutas, Yamraj's order carriers, they have never been stopped because they know that Yamraj is just not an ordinary demigod. He is far above the demigods because he places individual jivas even in the positions of demigods. So the Yamdutas, they are concerned, they are thinking, who has the audacity? Who has that much of power that they can stop the orders of Yamaraj? So, but they saw these bright, beautiful, effulgent looking Vishnu Dutas, who all have the bodily complexion of Lord Vishnu, who in their 4 hands hold Shankh, Chakra, Gada and Padma. And with their deep resounding voices, they were asking the Yamadutas, don't you know what constitutes dharma and what doesn't? Don't you know whom you can take and whom you cannot? So the Yamadutas, when they were challenged and asked in this way, they answer the questions that what constitutes dharma is what is mentioned by the scriptures. What is adharma is forbidden activities and the giving up of one's constitutional duties. This is adharma. Somebody who does adharma, performs sinful activities, we take such a kind of a person. The sun, the moon, the air, the elements, Paramatma, these are all witnesses. Nothing is hidden. And all of these witnesses confirm the activities of every person, every individual. And based on these activities, based on the record of these activities, it is determined where a person shall go and what his destination shall be. So in this way, Yamdutas are answering the Vishnu Dutas. The Yamdutas give very nice dharmic answer. But the Vishnu Dutas, they explain to them that anybody who is performing devotional service and who has chanted the holy names is beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj, because all the sins that he has committed are completely purified just by chanting the holy names. The Vishnu Dutas go on to explain about how Ajamil, he chanted Narayan at the time of his death, and therefore you cannot take this man away. Now he is not under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Srila Prabhupada comments that Ajamil was very sinful, but somehow, because of past bhakti that he had done, Lord Krishna from within his heart inspired him to name his youngest child Narayan, knowing well that he will be attached to his young child and will therefore call out his name all the time. Just like we call, if there is a small child in the house, we keep calling their name all the time, calling them, come here, come here. In the same way, Ajamil called out Narayan all the time. Narayan, 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 this, Narayan, come here. Narayan, go there. Narayan, take this. Entire day he was chanting Narayan. By chanting Narayan so many times, he got purified of all the sinful reaction that he had committed in the past. To the point that he came on the platform of chanting the names of the Lord, Namabhas. He came to that point. And because he was not committing offenses, when at the time of death he chanted Narayan, it was Namabhas. When he chanted Narayan, the Vishnu Dutas came there. Now Ajamil, he was not fully purified. So the Vishnu Dutas came there to stop the Yamdutas from taking him, because Ajamil was an exceptional case. But that exceptional case, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord and his devotees, has become a regular case in ISKCON. By chanting the holy names, what happens is, all the karma, all the reaction is fully absolved. It is finished. It is not considered at all. How wonderful is this? Of course, if one commits Nam Aparadh, that means performing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy names, then the name does not have an effect. Just like a medicine, when taken and not following the proper diet along with it, does not have its full effect. In the same way, when we commit offenses to the holy names, then it does not have that much effect that it could have. But Ajamil, he chanted offenselessly, and therefore it took effect. And what happened with Ajamil is that the Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas, they had this conversation. Ajamil overheard. The Yamdutas leave. The Vishnu Dutas disappear. And Ajamil is left right there after having heard this conversation. Ajamil feels that I committed a lot of sinful activities previously. Now I should take my life seriously. The purpose of my life, I should take it seriously. And then Ajamil, he goes to Haridwar. Ajamil goes to Haridwar, and what does he do there? He engages in Bhakti Yoga. Very strictly and seriously. And thus, engaging himself in this process, he purifies himself by the strength of the process of devotional service. And then the Vishnu Dutas come, the golden airplane comes to pick up Ajamil. And Ajamil boards the plane and he goes back home, back to Godhead. The Yamdutas, on the other hand, they go to Yamraj and they go to ask him that who were these personalities who came? How come they have the power to stop your order? And Yamraj mercifully explains his servants that these personalities whom you just saw were Vishnu Dutas, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu. They are fully independent. All the devotees of the Lord are also fully independent. And anybody who chants the holy name of the Lord, not only are his sinful activities finished and not considered, but they are beyond our jurisdiction. Anybody who chants the holy name of the Lord, don't even come near them, is what Yamraj's standing instructions to the Yamdutas are. Don't even come near somebody who is chanting the holy names of the Lord. So this life is a fraction. In this way it will finish. We will not even come to know how from childhood we cross through young age, then we come to middle age, and then when old age comes, we don't understand. Time is a element. Time is the energy. It is one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. And we cannot be conscious of it. Just like when our nails are growing or when our hair is growing, after a while when we see, then we understand how they are big. So now we have to cut nails. I have to cut my hair because now it's become big. But while it is growing, we cannot understand. That is how time is. They say time flies. And our life also finishes off like this, in a moment. And then what are we left with? So therefore, in this bhajan that we chanted, Durlabha Manava Janam, Lobhiya Samsare, Krishna na bhajinu dukha, koi bohare. He's saying that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's saying that I got this rare human form of life and I did not worship Krishna. What have I done? I have so much of misery, he says. So much of misery because I did not worship. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada in this purport, he talks about Maya, how Maya Devi influences and impacts us. In order to illustrate what is the power of Maya, in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam there is another story of how Lord Shiva gets enamored by Mohini Murti. Lord Shiva, when he sees the Mohini Murti fooling the demigods in order to take away the nectar, he develops an attraction for her. Lord Shiva wants to have association of Mohini Murti. He covets her. So Lord Shiva, along with Durga Devi and his associates, they all go to Lord Madhusudana. They all go to the Supreme Lord, and there they ask him, when they have darshan, then Lord Shiva glorifies the Lord. And then afterwards he asks the Lord that Please, I want to see that form of yours, Mohini, that you took. Lord Vishnu, he smiles. In today's purport also we see Krishna is smiling. It's the most amazing thing, Krishna's smile. It's an all-knowing, all-encompassing smile. Lord Vishnu smiles and gravely tells him. It's a disclaimer. He says that you are asking me, but if something happens after that, then don't blame me. Prabhupada writes this in the purport. So then, because Lord Shiva is insisting, I want to see that form. So then, suddenly, Lord Vishnu disappears. And in a nearby forest, Lord Shiva sees beautiful form of Mohini Murti. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives description about how beautiful that form is. And when Lord Shiva, he sees that form, he becomes so enamored. He becomes so bewildered, he runs behind her. His wife is right there beside him, but he forgets all shame. And he goes and wants to embrace that. Lord Shiva, he approaches Mohini Murti and then he embraces her. Forcefully he embraces her. And she wants to free herself. She frees herself from Lord Shiva's grasp. And then she runs, trying to go away from Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, he pursues her. He runs behind her. She runs, Lord Shiva is running behind. And everybody is watching what is going on. Finally, Lord Shiva, he discharges semen. And then he becomes peaceful after that. The agitation that was there, it reduces. And he comes back to his senses. It is said that wherever Lord Shiva discharged semen, wherever that semen fell, gold and silver mines came at that spot. Lord Shiva is such a great personality that his discharging semen also does not go waste. Gold and silver mines came there. Lord Shiva is not a jiva. He is not under the influence of Mahamaya. When Cupid, when Kamdev tried to shoot his arrows, trying to agitate Lord Shiva, he was not agitated. Other places in the Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva is speaking with Parvati Devi sitting on his lap. He is speaking Bhagavatam. How is it possible that a person can speak transcendental literature, completely spiritual, with his wife sitting on his lap and not agitated? But it was like that. Even Chitraketu, who was flying from the aeroplane, he saw that Lord Shiva is not agitated. And so he smiled. He laughed. Look at Lord Shiva. He's such a great personality. He's such a dhira, such a sober person, that although Parvati is sitting on his lap, he is not agitated. So Chitraketu laughed. Lord Shiva understood that Chitraketu understood. But Parvati did not understand. She became angry and cursed Chitraketu. Lord Shiva is such a personality that he will not be agitated by Mahamaya. So Durga Devi does not agitate him. But this is Yogamaya Devi. This is the Supreme Lord's internal potency who is in making this situation for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is attracted by this. So this is a lesson for us. This pastime was particularly enacted to show us that if somebody like Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva is not Jiva, he is Shambhu Tattva. He is not Vishnu Tattva, he is not Jiva Tattva, he is in between, he is Shambhu Tattva. Somebody like Lord Shiva can become so agitated and then he can lose all senses and he can embarrass himself. As Lord Shiva came back to his senses, he again prayed to the Supreme Lord that, my dear Lord, now I got a glimpse of your energy. He came back. And then he's explaining to Parvati that Parvati Devi, you were asking me to whose bhajan I am performing. I am performing meditation for so many years, so many hours every day I am performing meditation. Whose? It is this personality who is so supreme he can bewilder anyone. Lord Shiva, he takes such a humble position. Seeing this, the Lord becomes very happy with Lord Shiva. So this pastime is meant to make us understand about the impact that Maya Devi can have on us. And how only by surrendering to the Supreme Lord, we cannot conquer Maya Devi. It is only by the strength of devotional practices that the Supreme Lord within our hearts can create some kind of a renunciation, some kind of a distaste for sense objects and a higher taste for devotional service. It happens only by surrendering to the process of devotional service, surrendering to bhakti, surrendering to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, Maya is so powerful that for so many lifetimes we are stuck in this material world because our mind is attached to sense objects. We always want more of enjoyment. And today's lifestyle, and especially today's gadgets, smartphones, etc., they don't reduce attractions, or they don't help in the performance of spiritual life. They don't help in the progress in any way. They only increase our challenges and fights. So how much more important and necessary it is to take shelter of devotees, by which we can put a full stop to this continuous cycle of birth and death. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Because we are getting so much of miseries as we undergo birth, old age, disease and death. Srila Prabhupada once said, there was once in Vrindavan, there was a palmist who had come. Palmist means somebody who can read hands. Then he will look at the lifeline, he will look at this line and say, how long you will live? And he will say, what will happen? What is your destiny line saying? So a palmist said, Srila Prabhupada, can I read your palm? And then Srila Prabhupada said, I will read yours. So Srila Prabhupada, he looked at the palm and he said, birth, old age, disease, death. Very bad. Then he said, but I can make all of this go away. Then Srila Prabhupada said, just clap your hands in kirtan and all of this will go away. So in this way, by taking shelter of the Acharya, by taking shelter of the process of devotional service more and more, only we get strength to overcome Maya. Otherwise, how is it possible? In this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about Krishna's smile, because it is in the verse that is mentioned, the most alluring, illusory material energy is Krishna's smile. There is a very nice pastime about Lord Krishna's smile. So one cool autumn evening, Srimati Radharani and the Sakhis, they gathered in the Rasa Leela, Ras Bhumi, to meet Lord Krishna. Krishna also arrives there along with his cowherd boyfriends. Krishna is eager to perform Ras Leela and hoping that the gopis will agree and accept. However, Radhika decides that she doesn't want to perform Ras Leela that day, but she wanted to play hide and seek. So Krishna suggests that maybe hide and seek is not the best game to play in Ras Bhumi, because it's an open space, it's an open ground. How will you hide? But Radharani was very adamant. She said 3 more rules to make the game more interesting. She says, first, nobody should leave the Ras Bhumi for the duration of the game. Nobody should leave. Second, a person hiding should be found without clues, but by the seeking person only. And third, that no one could hide behind another person. 3 rules. Nobody goes out The second is that not through clues. You have to find out who the person is by whoever is seeking, only by the seeker. And third, no one should hide behind. Now Krishna was never one to back down from a challenge. So he, especially a challenge from Radharani and the Sakhis. So he agreed to these terms. Radharani declared that Krishna must hide first. Krishna agreed. Radharani and her Sakhis, they close their eyes and allow Krishna to hide. They give him time. When they open their eyes, they are astounded. Because they don't see one Krishna, they see 10, 20, 30 Krishnas. Everywhere they see Krishna. So through Krishna's Maya Shakti, Yoga Maya, all the Sakhas had taken forms of Krishna. All his coward boyfriends, they had become Krishna. They all looked like Krishna. Which one was the real Krishna? So the Sakhis are in panic. But Radharani remained calm. She asked all the Krishnas, they are all Sakhas, she asked them to line up. One by one. She asked them to smile. Then when she reached the 11th Krishna, she recognized this is Krishna. Radharani exclaimed that this was the true form of Krishna. Krishna asked how she was able to identify him so quickly. She replied that there may be many similar forms like Krishna, but there is only one person in this universe who can smile like that. Then it was Radharani's turn to hide. Krishna and his Sakhas all closed their eyes. And when they opened, they were amazed to see many mounds of white mogra flower buds. In each mound of flowers, a Sakhi was hiding. The Sakhas urged Krishna to accept defeat at the hands of Radharani and the Sakhis. But Krishna simply walked around the mounds until he found the mound which had fully blossomed flowers instead of flower buds. And then he said, this is Radharani. And needless to say, Radharani comes out of that. Because where Krishna is around, Radharani is always happy. And her joyous touch makes the flower buds happy and they all blossom into flowers. Such is the power of the smile of Krishna, which is so unique in this universe. It gives joy to the gopis, makes Radharani and everything she touches bloom with joy. Today is also the disappearance day of Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan and the appearance day of Sri Ganga Mata Goswamini. Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan, he is an acharya in the line, a disciple of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Baldev Vidya Bhushan came from the Madhava line and he accepted Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur later on. Baldev Vidya Bhushan was a scholar and very well versed in logic and how to debate, which he learned by staying in Madhava Mat in South India. Once there was a very big allegation that the Ramanandis had made. In Jaipur, there is the deity of Radha Govind Dev. Now also if you go in the city palace in Jaipur, there is the deity of Radha Govind Dev. What had happened was that deity is the original deity of Srila Rupa Goswami. This deity is Gaudiya Vaishnav. But at that time, what happened was the Ramanandis wanted to take over the worship. They felt that if the king of Jaipur, if he makes Radha Govind Dev the main deity and the path that is followed, the sampradaya that is followed is Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya, then what will happen to the Shri sampradaya? So Shri sampradaya in northern India have a branch called Ramananda sampradaya. So Ramanandis, they also wear similar tilak as Shri sampradaya. Ramanand Swami was a branch of the Shris. So the Ramanandis were there. And the Ramanandis felt that if Gaudiya Vaishnava has become more powerful, what will our position remain? So they challenged saying that what is this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya? According to the Puranas, there are 4 Sampradayas. 4 Sampradayas, 4 Acharyas. And every Acharya has written a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And that is why a Sampradaya becomes authenticated. So Shri Sampradaya Ramanujacharya, he has written a commentary. In the same way, there is commentary written by Madhvacharya also. So in this way, all 4 Sampradaya Acharyas have written a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is this Gaudiya Vaishnava line. There is nothing like this because there is no commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So then, when the king heard this, now the king himself had affection for Radha Govindev. He had affection for this style of worship, but he didn't have any answers. So he sent to Vrindavan letter. So the Vrindavan, in Vrindavan, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they replied back, giving so many scriptural answers. They said, you talk about the commentary on Vedanta Sutra, but our Acharya, in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, in Gaudiya Sampradaya, it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra because he accepts that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a commentary, natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. It is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who said that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And there is so much proof for it. Just like the sutra is Janmadhyasya Yataha. But we know that first verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is Janmadhyasya Yato Anvayaditaratas Tarte Swabhigna Swarat. In this way, the same sutra is demystified, decoded. And in a very elaborate way, it is explained. So Vyasa also is in the same Sampradaya. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want to cross over the same Acharya in the Sampradaya, so he did not write another commentary. In this way, Vrindavan, they replied from Vrindavan to Jaipur that this is the reason why we don't have a commentary. So, and Madhvacharya has already given, so now why will we write again? But the Ramanandis, as expected, they did not accept this. They say, if you are saying that you are a bona fide Sampradaya, then you should have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, the most respectable personality at that time, the head of the Gaudiya Sampradaya was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They asked Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to go and represent in this debate with the Ramanandis as to what happens with the worship of Shri Radha Govindev. Because what happened was that the Ramanandis said that Radha and Krishna cannot be worshipped in this form. They took away the deity of Radharani and put it somewhere else. And the worship was suspended till the time there was no clarity. And this was paining the hearts of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that Govindev has to be in this situation. It was paining the hearts of all the Brajvasis, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Braj also. What to do? So they thought, let Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur go. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was very old. So he asked his disciple, Baldev Vidyabhushan, to represent him. Because he knew Baldev Vidyabhushan was very, very scholarly. So Baldev Vidyabhushan goes there to Jaipur. The Ramanandis say, where is your commentary? And he gives the same explanation. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Vyasa is the natural commentator on the Vedanta Sutra. Why you want it again? They did not accept. So then Baldev Vidyabhushan said, okay, I will write. Within no time I will write. So Ramanandis laughed, because to write a commentary on something like Vedanta Sutra is not a joke. To explain Vedanta Sutra, it takes lifetimes. What to speak of to write a commentary? So what happens is, Baldev Vidyabhushan goes to Govindev and he prays to the Lord to empower him. Govindev comes in his dream and tells him, you just start writing, I will dictate to you. And Baldev Vidyabhushan starts writing. Overnight, he just writes, goes on. And that commentary becomes the commentary of the Vedanta Sutra of the Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage. When this commentary called Govinda Bhashya, because Govinda personally dictated this to Baldev Vidyabhushan, it was presented to the Ramanandis. The Ramanandis could not believe it. They could not believe the kind of amazing commentary that was there, Govinda Bhashya. So this was Baldev Vidyabhushan. This pastime took place in a place near Jaipur called Galtaji. Anybody been there? Very beautiful place, Galtaji. It is a place, they have even Mother Ganges there, who comes there from somewhere between the mountains. And the deity of Baldev Vidyabhushan also is there. Galtaji. This is the place that they have kept, now they have a pillar there. They have kept, this is the symbolic representation that this conversation and pastime took place in this place. Wherein Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya was declared as an official Sampradaya by the Ramanandis. Because this victory that Baldev Vidyabhushan achieved among all the Ramanandis became so famous that all over different kings, all Hindu kings over there that time, they all accepted Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya as a bona fide Sampradaya, which was actually it was the gift of Baldev Vidyabhushan. Srila Prabhupada, he dedicates his translation and commentary on Bhagavad Gita to Baldev Vidyabhushan. If you open Bhagavad Gita, you will find to Baldev Vidyabhushan, the commentator of Govinda Bhashya. So that is the contribution of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in this Sampradaya. Very invaluable contribution by giving this Govinda Bhashya, which made this Sampradaya an established Sampradaya. Today also is the appearance day of Ganga Mata Goswamini. Ganga Mata Goswamini was actually Sachi Devi, who was the daughter of King Naresh Narayana. And she from childhood exhibited so much of devotional qualities that she did not want to get married. And she goes to Vrindavan. She meets her guru, Haridas Panditji, who tells her to go to Jagannath Puri and perform bhajan there. Sachi Devi, she relocates to Jagannath Puri, before which she gets special association of another disciple of Haridas Pandit, who was Shri Lakshmi Devi ji. In her association, Ganga Mata Goswamini resided at Radhakund and chanted the holy names. Lakshmi Devi used to chant 192 rounds every day. And Ganga Mata and Sachi Devi, she in her association also performed bhajan for a good period of time. Haridas Pandit on the first meeting had said that you are a daughter of a king, you are a princess. How will you be able to live in Vrindavan? How will you be able to accept the austere life of renunciation that this marg, this path requires if you take this kind of an initiation? It's like Babaji. She was very determined, and slowly she gave up wearing her costly ornaments, costly saris, costly clothes, lived very, very simply, and achieved complete control over her mind and senses. Haridas Pandit told, go to Jagannath Puri and reside there. Ganga Mata, then Sachi Devi, she goes to Jagannath Puri. There she was told by Haridas Pandit that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his house is not being taken care of. His deities are not being worshipped. So you go there and take over the worship and maintain the place nicely. Now this was the time wherein already Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates had all disappeared from the planet. So even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had left. There was no one. So Sachi Devi, she goes there and she takes over, she starts residing there, repairs the place and re-establishes the worship of the Shilas that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya used to worship. Till today they are there. Ganga Mata, then how she came to be known as Ganga Mata? Sachi Devi, she wanted to, when the time came, there was a Varuni Snan for the Ganga. When the time came, Mahavaruni Snan, so she wanted to go and take a bath in Ganga. But her guru had ordered her that live in Jagannath Puri. So she gave up her desire to take bath in the Ganges for her guru's desire to reside in Puri. In the night, Lord Jagannath came to her in a dream and told her that Sachi Devi, you must go to Shweta Ganga. In Puri there is Shweta Ganga. Go to Shweta Ganga and take bath there. So she goes there to Shweta Ganga, and this is in the middle of the night, on the day of Varuni Snanam. So she goes there, takes bath in Shweta Ganga, and somehow the water is overflowing in Shweta Ganga. Water is overflowing, and that water, the waves of that water, they inundate not only the pukur, not only the kunda, it goes far beyond and all the way to Jagannath Puri, the main mandir. And one wave takes Sachi Devi to the temple inside the Garbhagruha, straight. All the people are shocked. It's already night. Whoever people are there around, they are very shocked seeing so much of water, Ganges water coming at Puri in this way. And the security, all the security guards, they become very alarmed at this kind of there is so much of chaos and so many people are talking. The disturbance causes them to wake up. And they see very surprisingly that the water from Shweta Ganga has come all the way to the main temple. They try to see what happened to Jagannath. So the guards, they go and open the door, and there they see Sachi Devi is lying at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. So they think that she is a thief, come to steal Lord Jagannath's ornaments. So they put her in jail. Sachi Devi, she feels, she's fully absorbed now in devotion to the Lord, knowing that they have misunderstood, having full faith that Lord Jagannath will do whatever is appropriate. And then she's put in the jail. Now, the Jagannath comes in the dream of the king, who tells that, don't you know, this is my great devotee Sachi Devi. How are you treating her like this? How are you mistreating her? Immediately remove her from the dungeon. And you should take shelter of her. She is such an advanced devotee. So king, his name was Mukunda Dev. Mukunda Dev immediately gives an order to take Sachi Devi outside. And the king, he apologizes profusely, takes shelter of her, and gets initiated by Sachi Devi. Due to this pastime of the Lord of Ganga Devi, exhibiting her extraordinary mercy on Sachi Devi, her name became Ganga Mata Goswamini. She lived like a Goswamini, and therefore she was known as Ganga Mata Goswamini. So now also if you go to Puri, if you go to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, it is not known as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. It is known as Ganga Mata Goswamini Mat. It is known as the place of Ganga Mata. So that was her special pastime. And she came directly, her guru was Haridas Pandit, whose guru was Anantacharya, whose guru was Gadadhar Pandit. So she came in the same line. And then initiated many disciples. She was known for her Bhagavatam classes. And even the king, Mukunda Dev, got so inspired and became a devotee and got initiated by her due to these incidences. So that is about Ganga Mata Goswami. It is also Ganga Puja. That is the advent of Mother Ganges on this earth. So just as we know the pastime of Vaman Dev, who in 3 steps, he asked Bali Maharaj for 3 steps. In 2 steps, he covered the entire universe. With the toe of his left foot, he broke the covering of the universe, and the water from the spiritual world entered into this world. And that is none other than Mother Ganges. So the advent of Mother Ganges, who is taken and controlled by Lord Shiva, in his jata, he captures her. And Mother Ganges, she is one of the reasons why she appears was to deliver Bhagirathi's ancestors. And Mother Ganges receives special mercy in Sri Mayapur Dham, wherein she is known as Gaura Ganga. Because Mother Ganges had this complaint that Lord Krishna, while he was in Vrindavan, he associated intimately with Mother Yamuna, who is the sister of Mother Ganga. So she felt envious that how come I did not get any association. And so the Lord gave her the benediction that when he would appear as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that time in Navadvip, on the banks of Mayapur, she would eternally reside there as Gaur Ganga, and Lord and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would play in her waters. So we know so many numerous pastimes that the Supreme Lord Gauranga performed while being in the Mother Ganges waters. One of them was that he used to go under the water and he used to pull the clothes off and gamchas off all the devotees who were taking bath there. He used to harass, when he was small, he used to harass all the ladies who used to come to do puja there, Ganga puja, and they used to go, and after that they were going to go to worship Shivji and Durga Devi. So he used to say, Gauranga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is Nimai. So Nimai, young Nimai. Nimai used to go and he used to tell them that why are you worshipping, why have you come here to collect water for the worship of Shiva and Parvati? Don't you know Shiva is my servant? Parvati is my maid servant. All of you give your offerings to me. And just imagine the shock on the faces of all these people all these girls, young girls, who used to see this small boy Nimai, who's talking in this indolent way. So one time, because Nimai used to perform so many pastimes there, he used to be so naughty. So one time all these Mayapur Vasis, they wanted to complain to Jagannath Mishra about Nimai. So they thought this time we will go and complain to Jagannath Mishra. So what happened is that before he came to the Ganga, on the banks of the Ganga, as he was going from Gangadas Pandit school, so Nimai, his friends told him on the way that all of these they are going to go to complain to Jagannath Mishra. As soon as you go to the Ganga, they are all going to catch you and going to take you to Jagannath Mishra's home, to your house, and they are going to complain about you. So what Nimai does is, instead of going to Ganga, he goes straight to his house. He goes straight to his house. So there, Jagannath Mishra sees him. And then it looks as if Nimai he doesn't go to Ganga. The complaint was that Nimai after school goes to Ganga, harasses all the people there. And the day the people were going to go to complain, Nimai goes to his own house and acts as if nothing happened. Nothing ever happened. And then after pacifying Jagannath Mishra, then he goes to the Ganga. And then he goes and harasses all those people. So in this way, Nimai, on the bank of Ganga, every day used to take bath. And he lived, we know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house is Yogapit. Nimai's house, Jagannath Mishra's house, is right on the bank of the Ganga. In this way, Mother Ganges received special mercy at Sridham Mayapur. Something that she wanted and she did not receive in Krishna Leela, that she receives in Gaur Leela. So any questions or comments? We'll end here. Yes.
In the class, the point came that near Durga Devi, the Trishul, the three ends of the Trishul is Adhyatmik, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik Klesh. But in another ISKCON class, I heard that the Trishul indicates the three modes of material nature, yes. Which is...
both are symbolic.
Both are symbolic, okay.
Yes. Any other question or comment? All right, so we'll end here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu ki, Shri Ganga Mata Goswami ki, Ma Ganga ki, Shri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Sagana Raghunathan Nitam Sang Sajivam